Hi, I'm Steve Mignonti here in rural Vermont doing another junkyard crawl. Dodge's Hemi legacy starts right here with this 1953 Dodge Coronet four-door sedan. And the thing with the Hemi is hemispherical combustion chambers. These were started 1953, again, first year, for the mighty Hemi in Dodge land. Of course, by 1964, the Hemi came along, the 426, and set records in NASCAR and drag racing. And of course, the 426 Hemi was a legend. The third gen Hemi of the modern era continues that Hemi legacy in Ram trucks and Challengers and Chargers and all kinds of awesome vehicles. Even Jeeps have 5.7s and 6.2s in them at this point in time. So we'll open the hood. And one thing about the Red Ram Hemi powered cars, the emblem on the hood right here has a vent, basically like a cold air induction going down the road. And that aims right at the air cleaner. So a bit of an early air grabber, if you will. Kind of a cool piece. And let's pop the hood and look at that mighty baby Hemi. We call this a baby Hemi because in the early 50s, Chrysler did a Hemi in 1951. DeSoto got one in 1952, and Dodge got theirs in 1953. But check this out. They're all different. They all have different bore spacing, so nothing interchanges. The heads, the intake manifolds, nothing interchanges. Crankshafts, nothing interchanges. So 3 families of Hemis in the 1950s from Chrysler Corporation. So must have been expensive. But again, times were good. Post-war years were good for America, and people were buying cars and having fun. And with that said, I love how the Hemis, the spark plugs go into these wells right here. There's usually a cover on these things that's missing right now. We'll get to the spark plugs in a second, but this right here, these are little things that pop in there, and there's the goes all the way down inside, and the plugs are down deep inside, makes spark plug changes a snap. And again, this one would have had 140 horsepower, and the base engine in these things for $130 less would have been a flathead 6. I think I'd take the Hemi for another $130 all day long. And again, the flathead cars just had a block off plate right here, didn't do anything at all, but this thing does direct air toward the air cleaner. And instead of, like a Coyote Duster or a Ram Charger, this is basically an oil bath air cleaner right here. And the air goes from there right to this area right here, feeding the engine some cooler air. And the distributor's kind of kinky right here. Here it is. Dual points on a little Hemi. Boom, right there. So high performance stuff seen on 426 Hemis, max wedges, and yes, even the 53 2-barrel 140 horsepower Hemi. Dual point distributors, better spark at higher RPMs. And you can see traces of the original sort of pale green paint on the firewall. And interesting car in many ways. And this also has the left-hand lug nuts on the driver's side. Go figure. That ran until 1972, I believe. They went to right-hand lug nuts finally. And again, first year right here, 1953, for the one-piece windshield. And beyond that, 53 was also the first year for the envelope body styling. No more bolt-on fenders, which was the case in 1952. So kind of a streamlined thing as Dodge entered the modern era of automotive design. It's popped the open the door here. And again, it's a 4-door sedan and full door frames. And the interior is kind of nice. You can see it's a clutch pedal in there, but also an automatic selector. This thing has the gyro torque transmission, which was something that was sort of semi-automatic. You had to use the clutch to stop the car, actually to start the car, but you could sit at a stoplight and leave it in gear. It's a fluid coupling, not a torque converter, but again, it's an early semi-automatic transmission. And here it is right there, the clutch pedal and the shifter on the column. And again, made it easier to drive. Just engage the clutch when you're leaving. Otherwise, leave it and drive all day long. Kind of cool, kind of sluggish. But a 3-speed manual is also possible for a little less money. But I think, so kind of cool. It's also the guy who bought this car new did not pay for the extra clock. There's a block off plate that would, where the clock would live right there. So instead you get a plastic covering. And again, rubber floor mats, basic Coronet. So kind of a cool piece in many ways. Let's go around to the side door here. And the things you can find inside of cars, kind of neat. This stuff was in the glove box. This is an Esso roadmap for New York from 1970, Happy Motoring. And also this here, kind of cool stuff. These are things J.C. Whitney, apparently whoever owned this car way back when, bought some spark plugs from J.C. Whitney. And here it is right here. And the fellow was C. Lieb of New York. Oh, New York, New York. There you go. Yeah, Nagle Avenue in New York. And here is a receipt for the spark plugs with indication how to use the plugs. And kind of cool, the Hemi dome right there with the spark plug, little illustration on the left-hand side. Kind of cool. That's the Hemi right there. Hemispherical combustion chamber with a plug right in the middle of it. That's the magic of the Hemi. And here's one of the packages. And kind of cool stuff also. This is something, these are Save-A stamps from, I guess, Guaranteed Go, gasoline, never heard of them, but a Merit station. There you go, Merit. And but here's stamps right here for, I guess, you get free purchases. You get some stamps saved up, like an S&H green stamp, but not S&H, but same idea. You get these things, fill a book up and get free prizes, get discounts. You can buy cars, I guess, something like that. So neat stuff. Put these back in. Continue our walk around this car. And again, this is a four-door sedan. These cars are also available as two-door hardtops and convertibles, and even station wagons. The Coronet was also available as a station wagon back in the 50s. Of course, the Coronet name, popular in Mopar land for decades. In the 60s and into the 70s, the Coronet was used on many cars, usually four-door family cars and stuff like that. But again, here on the trunk, we see right here the Gyromatic. Also, fluid drive in Plymouth land, but that's basically the semi-automatic. Kind of cool here. This is an optional, the backlight. This is the reverse light right here. You paid extra for that. Also a dealer option. You can actually have that installed at the dealership, but you had paid money to, when you put it in reverse, this lights your way only on one side. And inside the trunk, this one has the rear trunk floor delete, factory lightweight, joking. These are body on frame cars, so clearly the body is rotted away, but these are pretty rugged cars when they're new and crisp. And a lot of cool stuff. A lot of people collect Petrolania, and this is an all-season motor oil can right here. It's empty, a couple of gallons, gallon jug. Oh, two and a half gallons right there, 10 quarts. Gas filler right here. Not very sexy, but there it is. And the back bumper on this is decent. The chrome is shot, but the metal itself is not bent. So I guess savable, probably. The fender guards or the bumper guards right there, still very much available, or savable. Get them chromed and add them to your 53 Dodge Coronet. And what you see here is potentially for sale. If you want to learn more, you can email Paul Crozier at paulcroziervt@gmail.com to learn if pieces and parts, maybe the Hemi, maybe the valve covers, maybe the spark plugs are available. But again, that's the story on this one right here. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the SteamMags YouTube channel. And we'll see you again tomorrow with more Junkyard Crawl. Thanks for watching.